Welcome to Bible Prophecy Truth.
Can you identify false prophets? It is simple. Approximately 85% of all accurate prophecies focus on the times we live in for a reason. These prophecies clearly show that in the near future billions of lives will be lost from war and disasters. This is largely due to the fact there are more lives to lose with 6.7 billion people on planet Earth. From this you can understand the importance of careful, honest, and accurate interpretation of prophetic documents given to us in order to save lives. All prophets predict future events that will happen in the nations they reside in. For example, Nostradamus lived in France, and all of his prophecies concerned France and surrounding nations. Nostradamus did mention nations outside of Europe, but only when the armies of those nations were in Europe. It is widely reported that the two rocks mentioned in one of Nostradamus's prophecies were the Twin Tower buildings destroyed in the 9/11 attack. The prophecy was rewritten to appear as the 9/11 attacks by false prophets. The two rocks in Nostradamus's prophecy were actually two empires making war. We know this by the context of the sentence. In biblical prophecy, mountains are sometimes nations or empires. Zechariah's prophecy concerning two bronze mountains was also construed as the Twin Tower buildings destroyed in the 9/11 attack. The two bronze mountains mentioned in the Bible prophecy were the nations of Russia and Iran. The bronze was to identify those nations as part of Alexander the Great's Greek Empire linked with the present-day Greek Empire. The mainland in prophecy is Eurasia, made up of Europe, the Middle East, Asia, India, and Africa. The outer islands or coastlands mentioned in most prophecies, including the Bible, are North and South America, Australia, and all the other islands outside the landmass of Eurasia. False prophets who say the USA is central in Bible prophecy and non-Bible prophecy do this because the U.S. residents are the largest purchasers of prophecy information, and the false prophets make plenty of money by lying. The USA is mentioned in prophecies from prophets living in the USA. There is very little mention of the USA in Bible prophecy. That is because the USA does not play any larger part than any other nation in future history. Most Americans think the world revolves around the USA, and the USA will play a large part in world affairs. But as far as predicted future events go, it does not register. The three superpowers, Russia, China, and the USA, will be greatly diminished by future events. Approximately 1/3 or more of these nations, along with 1/3 of Europe, will end up under the oceans. Our 34-year study confirms biblical prophecy is perfectly accurate. So is the Bible record of history. Archaeological discoveries since the mid-1980s prove this to be true. King Solomon erected two columns, one on each side of the Gulf of Aqaba, to mark the Red Sea crossing. Between these two columns on the sea floor are the remains of hundreds of chariots of Pharaoh's armies. Mount Sinai, with the charred peak, located in Saudi Arabia, the split rock at Rephidim, with evidence of great amount of waters flowing out of the rock to provide sustenance for 1.5 million Hebrew, the altar of the golden calf, and many other discoveries confirm Bible events. The fact that these are recent discoveries proves the accuracy of Bible prophecy, which predicted archaeological finds in this day would confirm Bible accuracy. Bible context is very important. If you rip a sentence or part of a sentence out of a prophetic document or the full of mistakes English translation of the Bible without context, you are bound to get it wrong. For example, the words born again do not appear in the Bible. Born again was translated from the Greek word geneo, which can be male or female. In the context of the sentence, the words born again are found in the central theme is the seed, which is obviously male, so the words born again should have been translated as begotten. Yeshua the Messiah is the male bridegroom. Once the seed is planted, then the work begins. Many Christians insist the English Bible translators were guided by the hand of God, and the English Bible replaces everything else. This is obviously total nonsense, judging by the hundreds of mistakes and misconceptions in the English text. We have many copies now on the internet of the Hebrew Matthew that outline the 14-generation genealogy of Yeshua the Messiah. The English translation lists only 13 generations, omitting the fact that Miriam's father, Yosef ben Yaakov, had the same first name as her husband. Miriam's husband, Yosef ben Eli, was not part of her genealogy, and he did not supply the seed that begot Yeshua, the King of Kings. It was a virgin birth. The Hebrew Matthew genealogy correctly records Yosef ben Yaakov as the father of Miriam, who was a direct descendant of King David. There are many sections of the New Testament in the original Hebrew language they were written in, posted on the internet by government and other institutional archives. These include the book of Matthew, parts of Luke, John, and parts of the book of Revelation, which are the written words of Yeshua recorded by John. Having a very accurate translation is extremely important in understanding Bible prophecy. It is not unusual that Christianity holds on to the status quo, preserving misconceptions and lies. Protecting established lies is a big part of history and human endeavor. Albert Einstein had to fight for decades with established scientists to get them to even consider his theories. Avoid false prophets and find the truth about future events. Subscribe to our channel.
Please donate to Bible Prophecy Truth so we can continue our important work. To donate, click the link or visit BibleProphecyTruth.net.